folks, I'm glad you're here. Thank you very much for joining me. It's Hump Day, January 22nd, 2025. We got a view of Old Faithful from the live webcam stationed on top of the Yellowstone Hotel there. Yeah, a little cold today. Hopefully it's going to be warmer, maybe on Sunday for much of the country. This coming week, yeah, freezing weather. A lot of that snow that is melting in the south is going to refreeze tonight, making driving very treacherous. So stay home if you can stay home. Don't go out unless you have to go out. Absolutely necessary. And make sure you dress appropriately. Bundle up. Yeah, so we got, I don't know when it's going to go off again, but yeah, not too bad. Here's an update what's going on at Yellowstone. USGS isn't really reporting any earthquakes for the Yellowstone area. Only 4 within the last 24 hours. The largest being magnitude 1.6, which was a quarry blast north of, probably northwest of where Yellowstone was at. And that was at 2002. There was an earthquake. Let me show you that they are not reporting, actually 2 of them. Also, we got Utah. I don't see it. Must be out of view here. A 1.1, Snowville, Utah. A 0.8. J Ranch. That's down south here. Yeah, past Heart Lake. Probably close to Jacksonville without looking real quick. Along the Tetons. And so we got, let's see, the deepest was probably Utah. 3 miles in depth. So we have an earthquake here at 2:38 p.m. local time. It was picked up by the borehole there at the Norris Geyser Basin. The next one is Moose Creek, Idaho. You can see the heat that came up. The one second from the right, that is Little West Thumb. I actually got that working. And then the far right is the western boundary. Kind of see the heat coming up. But this earthquake was probably a 2.2 or maybe a 2.5. This here is the spectrogram that shows the heated water, toxic gases that came up. And this is from the borehole there at the Norris Geyser Basin. And we'll go to the seismic signature. Yeah, kind of looks like tornadoes, fault movement, and also magma movement. And then we got popping of the ground. Like I said, this is probably a 2.1, maybe as high as a 2.5. Here's a monitor for Moose Creek, Idaho. We'll go to the seismic signature right there. Semi-rounded tops, showing how the magma moved across here. And there was actually, let me move it across. Yeah, 2 earthquakes. But neither of them they are reporting. This second one kind of exaggerated the first earthquake. It just kind of rolled into the first one. And it comes in as a magnitude 1.12. I don't see much activity there at the monitor for West Thumb. Maybe that's why I can actually get the data to download. I'm just kind of looking around through here. I don't even see any screaming going on. Just long duration earthquakes. Yeah, they may have adjusted the machine where it just doesn't show the activity, because I find it hard to believe that there is nothing going on at West Thumb when you and I both know, because of past history, yeah, they do have things that are going on. This here is the borehole for the Norris Geyser Basin. A lot of popping still going on. Let me pull this over. This is the earthquakes that I just showed you, and we got this one here also, not being reported. Yeah, we got. Let's see what this is. It's got a P wave on it for this first earthquake. This would have been last night at 11:58 p.m. and it comes in as a 1.70. And then we got popping afterwards. Let's take a look at the seismic signature. Yeah, fault movement. And then the second one, that would probably be a magnitude 0.84. Yeah, this is all fault movement. And once again, this is from a borehole under the ground, a very deep well under the ground. So it doesn't pick up anything that occurs outside. Looks like all fault movement as the magma comes up. Now, I want to make something clear about how the hot spot is moving northeast. Yes, the crust of the Earth, North American plate, is slowly moving southwest. And the hot spot basically stays in the same area. But as it moves northeast of its past location on the North American plate, it'll come into contact with a new lithosphere. And we don't know what the effects are going to be when it comes into a new location. Will it be weaker? Will it be thinner? We do know that northeast of the Yellowstone Lake, they got that new hot spot that, only took them a few years to tell us about, where the heat came up from under the ground, killed off, with the gases, killed off the trees, and then the trees died, and then when they fell, they were laying on the ground, and they burned up, turned to charcoal from the ground up. And that's because let me show you on the map. The crust of the Earth is moving southwest, and the hot spot stays the same spot, but it seems to be moving northeast. So northeast of Yellowstone Lake. Let me see if I can get Google Earth to go to that location right there. Right there. And that's where the trees have died. So we don't know what kind of rock formation, at least I don't, within this location is. We don't know if it's got a weakened area of the crust where we could have an eruption. Bob Smith, who is one of the professors at the University of Utah, highly acclaimed, said that he believed that the next time that Yellowstone had an eruption, they were hoping it would be about the size of Mount St. Helens eruption. They know it would be bigger than Mount St. Helens, nothing smaller than that, but they were hoping the next eruption would be that size, the size of Mount St. Helens. So would that happen in this area? I don't know. I have been watching over the years. There's been more and more earthquakes, and I don't know if I got them on here, but they've been off from Turn Lake going east. There's been more and more earthquakes. Those of you that follow me know that for some reason Google Earth reset, and I lost a lot of the data that I had on here. So the borehole for the Norris Geyser Basin is right here. Right in there. Right there. And then over here to the left, that is Hedgen Lake. Down here is Yellowstone Lake. And this is West Thumb. Right there. Yeah, I don't know what they did to that station, why I'm not picking up what I think would be proper data. So anyways, this is the Madison River area. This is the borehole 950. I don't have an example for borehole 950, but I do have it for borehole 207. I don't think that one is working. But anyways, it shows you how it's a deep well dug into the ground. It has a cap of cement with the metal casing. And then if you come all the way down, here we have the seismometers with the spectrogram. Now this one here is 661 feet under the ground. So it doesn't pick up anything that goes on under the ground. This here is just how it's all set up for different directions, for different channels and those basically don't work anymore. So we'll just bring it back up. But that is an example of a borehole. I don't know if you can see it, but every red line is a quake that the monitor picked up and should have sent a message to those at the University of Utah. These are all quakes. Another thing that is interesting, a lot of people don't know, if the majority, the first line of the quake points up, that means the earthquake came from the north of this monitor. If the majority of it is down, that means it came south. So it's like this one right here, that one was south. And let's look at the spectrogram. Okay, I'll just jump around and look at some of these quakes if I can find them, because yeah, they're a quick little popping. This is what it was showing when I pulled the files just a little while ago. Yeah, a lot of poppings going on. Now this is, again, the spectrogram that shows us the gases and heated water and things like that. A lot of popping's been going on. This is all fairly new activity in the last couple years that have been happening there. This right here, this square line, this is where they adjusted the machine. There is a quake in there. But it's what they call capped, where they cut off the top and they cut off the bottom. This is where they're adjusting the monitor. They're in their office where the signature goes off to. Yeah, they're in Utah more than likely. Yeah, a lot of popping. It's just an indication that strain has built there at Yellowstone. Someday it will erupt and it will have very significant changes upon the earth if it is a large one. The gases would go up around the earth, put the earth into a cooling mode where yeah, things wouldn't grow within the location of where the ash falls. It would contaminate all the water in the soil. Yeah, the water would be undrinkable. This here is the monitor for the western boundary during that time of that one earthquake that I showed you. Let's look at the seismic signature. Yeah, slow moving tremors. I'm just going to try and jump around here and see some of this activity. We got thickening of the lines here. You can see how the heat comes up. I'll give you a link to this page. It is the University of Utah for all the different monitors that they have. Different boreholes. And there's 206. Like I said, I don't think that's working. Let's check it. You can click on the link. Oh, it is working, sort of. Look at that mess. Again, this is a borehole. Let's look at Yellowstone Lake. Yeah, for some reason that one is not working. Snow King. Not working. That used to be a good monitor. Flag Ranch, Wyoming. Let's see, that used to be a good monitor, not working. We have all this money that they send to all these different countries, and I'm glad that's going to stop. Maybe they'll crack down on the money that is wasted, so we can start actually getting real data. So we'll zoom in here to the Yellowstone area and give you a brief idea what you can get from this data. All the red ones, of course, are not working. Okay, let's zoom in a little bit. We got Yellowstone Lake. That one's not working, but we do have that one. Let's take... they're not going to show us. It's not working for this web page, evidently. And Joseph Coat. Okay, that is working. I'll show you another page too where you can look at data. This is what's called thumbnails, and you can look at all the different pages, and then sometimes behind there might be another page. Shows you what's supposed to be working, what you're supposed to be able to get data from. Here we got Hedgen Lake, Horse Butte, Madison River, and you can kind of see the earthquakes that show up here. Let's look at Maple Creek right there. That's the one, I believe, that I showed you the earthquake, and you can see other earthquakes that have occurred on here. Let me close that one out. And Purple Mountain, see, that earthquake also shows up at Purple Mountain, and we got some more here that are not being reported. The program that I use will only let me download, there it is, Parker Peak, look at that. Let me download about up to 6. But then when I upload it to the other program where I show you the actual data, 4 is actually the best. Otherwise, it doesn't give me all the data that I want to show you. Okay, let's see what this one. This is near Yellowstone Lake, DD. It's one of the newer monitors, but it's not a borehole. That's actually by Grant Village. This is another area. About 2 years ago, it was showing signs that the magma was trying to find a way up through the crust and an intrusion. Now, when you're looking at these, you can't just click on a line of data. When you click on the line of data, it'll take you to a map that is no longer working. Here we got the promontory, which is, I believe this one is at the southern end of Yellowstone Lake. So yeah, I think West Thumb, yeah, they did something to it. Maybe I should try and download the data next time for the promontory. You can see these earthquakes. Being at the promontory, let me show you. Right here, if it was showing these earthquakes so well, so significantly, they should have picked up at West Thumb. So West Thumb, I think they did something to it, so that would be evident that that machine is not working. So I think I'm going to change it. Here I waited for so long for West Thumb to start working, and yeah, the promontory actually looks more promising. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I'll do that for my next report. I hope I can get the data. Well, it looks like they moved the camera, and you can see the Firehole River right here, and that is really steaming. This here, this hill, that is the one of the 2 resurgent domes there at Yellowstone Lake, or Yellowstone Super Volcano. That is the Mallard Lake Resurgent Dome. I'll pull it over. That thing is huge. Oh, looks like it's not working. There it goes. So it was evidently the Mallard Lake Resurgent Dome and the Sour Creek Resurgent Dome. At one time, they said they were 10 kilometers by 20 kilometers. They're both elliptical, which would be about 6 miles by 12 miles across. Like I said, these resurgent domes are huge. And I'll give you a link to another paper so you can read more about the size of the resurgent domes. Yeah, they're big. So, oh, we got someone walking out there. Right there. Yeah, the roads are currently closed. You can only get in by either snow coach or snowmobile. And this here at the bottom, that is the parking lot for the Yellowstone Hotel. Anyways, I hope that information is welcoming for you. If you want to look up and see what's going on, take a quick pick at that activity. Thank you very much for watching. Please share. Please thumbs up my videos. Thank you very much for your support. Greatly appreciate it. Like I've said, you guys that support and share my videos, you are angels in disguise. And always be prepared for any type of disaster. And I'll talk to you later. God bless you. Bye.